scores are slipping, but we're better than ever at division. No, something about this isn't adding up. Every day is a new battle, trying to keep our ass in the saddle. Now they're rounding us up like cattle in a truck. They're high up on that horse.
Welcome to the Three Rural White Guys podcast. We're back after 2 weeks. Took a little break there. Kellen went on vacation for a little bit.
I did.
Jacob went on vacation for a little bit. And we are back, the three of us.
Why didn't you
again.
go on vacation a little bit?
I'm too busy. Oh, shit. I'm on my...
You're
I'm
playing
watching our own thing right here. It's right
playing
back
it
here.
right back through.
Hold on.
You know, I wasn't actually on vacation. Well, I was on vacation.
Yeah.
That's not why we didn't record last week.
Why didn't we record last week?
Because I was getting a colonoscopy.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Wait, before we get there, if you're watching this first time, we're the Three Rural White Guys podcast. We're drinking beer in our garage, talking politics.
Hey,
We live in a rural community. We tend to be fairly progressive guys trying to figure out how to live in a rural community. We've been going at this for about 6 years. And we're not a bunch of
that's a
nobodies.
long time.
Kellen has a PhD in American politics.
Sometimes.
I got a master's degree in nonprofit management. And this guy over here to my left has been running emergency medical service stuff for God knows how fucking long. And is one of the premier experts in especially rural emergency services in the state of Iowa.
Longer than some of y'all been alive.
Yeah, seriously. We do have listeners that are that young, which is
Yes.
interesting. That makes me feel a little old now. So we actually know a little bit what we're talking about, but honestly, we have a great group of followers that like to chime in as we go. We have a following all across the country. We usually have quite a few thousand people that watch our shows.
We have
pretty
some
regularly.
Canadians who listen.
Yeah, we do. We have people in Australia that listen.
Do we
and New
really?
Zealand. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So Kellen and I both went to Wisconsin.
Yeah, that was weird.
Not at the same time, but we both came back with the same thing.
This was not planned.
Yeah. Jessica, what do you think of this crap? Look at this.
That's the good shit.
You can only get this in Wisconsin.
They
Yeah.
do not sell it across state lines. In fact, I think we might be violating a law right now. No.
Bootlegging.
No, you're
yeah,
allowed
that's
to-
that's
Are you
bootlegging.
not allowed to bring it across the border with you?
Well, I think it'd be a problem if we brought it over and started selling it to people.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Like, did you see that guy, Minocqua Brewing Company, that like super lefty dude up in Wisconsin with the brewery, Minocqua Brewing Company?
Yeah.
He got shut down. Well, he
I
got his
heard.
license taken away.
Was it because of something he did, or was it political reasoning?
Well, he'll tell you it's political reasoning. The government will tell you it's because he's making beer in Illinois, shipping it to Wisconsin and selling it in his tap room up there without the proper taxes and
Oh,
excise licenses.
Might be a pretty clear cut
Which
thing.
is why that was a little
Yeah.
bit relevant there.
Kinda
But
makes sense.
I don't know. Names. You
Interesting.
guys' name's Kirk. We've followed him. We, me, I, you. I don't know. I've followed his stuff for a little while, and it's an interesting story. But yeah, he and his late wife started that brewery maybe 5 or 6 years ago, just pre-COVID.
Oh.
But he made a comment about, or he did this like advertising thing or marketing thing back in January. He made a social media post. I shouldn't call it a marketing or advertising thing. He made a social media post basically said, "Free beer for the day Trump dies."
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Did
And
he
so
get taken
everyone
in like was Comey? James Comey?
Yeah,
He
like
get pulled
86,
in?
47
Yeah, I mean, that
fee
seems
shell
pretty
bullshit.
serious. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So
How did he
ultimately-
know we're not toasting his life with beer? Like, I'm gonna buy a round in honor of Trump. Like, how could they know? He might have been celebrating. free beer.
question.
Yes.
Do you think there are any right wing brewery / distillery / winery owners who, when Trump dies, will have free giveaways in honor of his life?
I know in honor of his life.
Yeah.
you
Celebration,
know,
celebration of life.
brewery owners, brewmasters, if you will, tend to be pretty progressive.
I-
I've noticed this.
I've never met one that isn't.
Really?
I've met a handful, maybe like 4 or 5.
A couple libertarians out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. So let's go all the way back. Speaking of
Okay.
liquids flowing through tubes,
Back to the colonoscopy.
back colonoscopy. So yeah, Kellen was out. We tried this a couple years ago. It was it season 1?
Oh
season
shit,
2?
that's right. When we first started
shit's
this,
the right word there, Kellen. Yes.
When we first started
no
this
shit.
podcast,
Yeah.
I had a colonoscopy.
Yeah. So your
full
last
circle.
one, I think it was, and I don't know
Mhm.
how often you have them, but
every 5 years.
yeah. So
Yeah.
5 years ago, and this was known. I can't remember what episode it was. We've had quite a few doozies where we just drank a little too much,
Hmm.
just because whatever's going on. That particular episode, though, was the day that Kellen tried to use my 72-inch screen TV on the wall as a touchscreen.
Fake news.
Uh huh. He doesn't remember it for a reason. Because
Hearsay and allegations.
He had a colonoscopy that day, and he came right over to the garage, literally the garage, and started drinking. No food, nothing. You start drinking.
These I cannot
It happened. I was there.
If I recall, it was bourbon too.
Yes.
No,
it was not
scotch. The alleged incident that may or may not have taken place involved scotch.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
a bottle.
that's
it was
right.
Not, it was not a beer.
It was brown liquor either
Yeah,
way.
Yeah. Scott, you're a scotch drinker. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And you downed at least half the bottle, if not more, without any food after going like 3 days without eating, whatever it was, to prep for the colonoscopy.
2 days.
2 days? Yeah.
But this didn't happen, so I don't
Of
know
course
what you're
not. Well, you don't remember it. That's the problem. That was one of our early episodes, and we learned a lot about Kellen that day. A lot.
Kellen learned a lot about Kellen.
Yes. And then he probably forgot the next
We
day.
promptly forgot all of it. Yes.
Hey, we have it, and Jessica says, poor Kellen, that deserves a steak, ice, and a 6-pack.
They asked me in the hospital. They're like, because the patient care, they always have to check your name and your date of birth and why you're there, right? They ask you like 4 times before they do any procedure, especially if they're going to put you under.
Oh, interesting.
So, what are we here for? I'm like, a bacon wrapped medium rare fillet.
Yeah,
I'm like, nope.
that's correct.
Like, no, that is why I'm here.
Correct. Now, by the way, Scott Weber chimes in and says you are violating the law. I
Oh.
believe that's in reference to the
The
bringing
Wisconsin
the
beer.
alcohol across the border.
Yes.
I trust Scott's opinion.
Come and get me.
You know exactly where we are. I'm just saying.
Well, there's one here for you, Scott.
Hey, we have an interesting episode today, guys. A lot's been going on the last 2 weeks, especially. We're going to focus on the campaigns are really heating up.
Mhm.
Like all the new ads are coming out. There's a lot of just bullshit being put out there because obviously Republicans really have nothing to run on. So they're throwing all kinds of just this almost Puritan level kind of shit out there. So we're going to go through that with the Clayton Clark, Sophie Cunningham saga and that Puritan shit with the WNBA. We'll talk a little bit about the Center for Intellectual Freedom here in Iowa and that little process there, whatever the hell that is and what's been going on with that. We're also going to touch on some what the fuck moments around again. And we tried to bury this story a long time ago because it's such a stupid ass story. The reflecting pool. We'll get into that.
We're
more.
going back
It
to the
came back.
pool.
It came back again.
Back to the
Came
pool.
back again. It's so stupid. We can't ignore it. Fauci's back in the news again, which is just
Fauci.
stupid. Todd Blanche is in the news, and then I have a little bit of a pedestal I got to get on. Just
Wait, the COVID guy?
the COVID
COVID
guy.
guy.
Yeah.
That was like more than a half a decade ago.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way to put it, Jacob. Did you say half a decade?
Yeah.
Wow. That feels like a long time ago.
I already feel old because I'm getting colonoscopies on the regular, but thanks for that.
Yeah.
It's putting that nail in that.
I just had to point that out.
So
Sure.
if you guys are good with it, I'd like to start with the University of Iowa Center for Intellectual Freedom.
Fuck.
Who wants to give the breakdown of what the hell this is for any of our readers that are or listeners that are outside of the state of Iowa?
I can give a 30 seconds.
Just a clip of where it
30
came
seconds.
from. You don't have to get into the controversy. Yet.
No, no.
What the fuck?
No,
is it?
You want to
Kellen can explain it in depth. I'm going to give the
You did the-
simple
yeah, there you go.
explanation of it.
Very good. Very
do
good.
it?
It was our state legislature spending money on a non-existent problem.
Yes.
That's what it is. Go ahead.
So,
Oh,
been in Wisconsin, haven't you? Oh,
I'm a Midwesterner.
that's true.
Yeah, just a little bit more meat on those bones. But yeah, absolutely. They're trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist. The Center for Intellectual Freedom, as it's called, is basically just a new department at the University of Iowa. And when it first launched, they hired this director, paid him, I think it's a him, $400,000 a year
Whoa.
to run
whoa,
this thing.
whoa,
Yeah,
Seriously?
$400K of your money, Mike.
Jesus.
My money, your money, Jacob's money,
Holy crap.
our money, collectively.
Where'd they find that at? Like,
I don't know. Do we have does Iowa have a version of Fort Knox? Do we have like gold bullion?
Well,
buried in
they got rid of
diamonds
all the
somewhere?
DEI programs.
that's a good point.
Oh yeah.
They just shifted the funding.
and they slashed all the school funding. So
Wouldn't this be a DEI program though, technically? Because their
yes.
viewpoint was not being expressed properly. And
Not
they
diverse.
They wanted to have a more diverse viewpoint at the University of Iowa.
This is DEI for right wingers.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a great way.
Forced DEI.
Forced DEI, legislated, mandated by the state government.
So
Oh wait, we're not even at that point. Yeah.
What do you got?
So they launch, and in the first semester they had, I want to say, 3 courses One of them had to be just canceled because no one signed up. Maybe one person signed up.
What were these courses though? Like what were they
You're
teaching?
gonna fucking ask me.
Sorry, but like give me a general idea.
It's just like how awesome is America or
kind of shit.
free market capitalism. You know, it's just like right wing stuff. And those, like, I say that kind of tongue in cheek. Those are courses you can take. Like, you can go to the American Studies department and learn about how awesome or not America is.
Right.
You can go to the economics department and learn all about capitalism, right? But they have to put the brand on it, right? And they have to put the ideology behind it, and they have to put the whole political motivation behind it, right? And that's really what happened. So at first they launched with 3 courses, and they're voluntary electives, right? One of the courses doesn't even go because no one signs up for it. One kid signs up for it. One of them has, and Liz from Iowa did a really great breakdown. She has a video of this for like a 2 or 3 minute long video
Shout
of
out
this.
Liz from Iowa.
Yeah, shout out Liz from Iowa. She has a great video on this, but I think one of them had 8 students, and then the other one had 11. Right, so those 2 went. That they happened. The courses occurred.
So we paid $400,000 to a director and then also 2 professors to teach those 2 courses. For
Correct.
20 people total, 19 people total.
Correct. Correct.
So probably $500,000 worth of expenditures. Plus,
Yeah, I don't know how you would at the University of Iowa. It depends on which faculty from which department and all that. But
Sure.
most academic appointments at an R1, like the University of Iowa, are going to be a 2.2 or a 2.1 or whatever. It
Sure.
kind of depends on the department.
But
and the
they're
faculty.
teaching one course. If you divide it down to one course of their entire salary, and they're making $60,000 to $100,000, it's probably worth $20,000 of their time.
They're probably making more like $100,000, and it's one semester they're teaching one course of the 2 that they're teaching. So you can
Right.
think of it as like a quarter of their salary.
Okay.
So it's more like $50,000 a year.
That was $100,000
for that one.
A quarter would be 25.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, 50.
Two courses.
Yeah,
2
50.
courses. Sorry.
So we're at least at $450,000
Correct.
plus any overhead expenses of the rooms and the utilities and all that shit that just gets added to it.
Right.
I'm sure the director has an executive assistant. And
Yeah, they have a budget, and the
Good point.
budget is I'm pretty sure the budget is up in the 7 figures. I think it's up over $1 million that they've given to this Center for Intellectual Freedom.
For 19 students to learn about
Nothing.
classes they can get anywhere else.
The classes that no one actually wants to take. Anyway,
Well, yeah.
no one signs up for these, and that's a problem because that's egg on the face of the
regents in the legislature.
people. So
70
they
some House of Representative members and
Yeah.
20, 30 some senators.
Right. So they all get together and they say, well, why don't we just force students to take this? And they pass a law. And now, if you go to the University of Iowa, starting in 2028, you cannot graduate from the University of Iowa until you take at least 2 of these courses.
Except for now, they've suspended it. They've suspended the program.
Till 2028.
Definitely. Yeah.
So
Oh, I thought it was indefinitely.
I read 2028, but that was also the year that the legislation around mandating it as part of a graduation requirement goes into effect. So
I see.
I've been in Wisconsin and in a hospital bed for the last week, so I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely up
Did
to
you
date.
have to
on
leave the
this.
state of Iowa for healthcare?
No,
Oh,
I did
okay.
not. I had to leave the state of Iowa for good beer, though.
That's true. Which also helped with the draining of your pipes.
Yes, liquids through the pipes.
Yes.
But that's essentially the Center for Intellectual Freedom thus far.
So I want to just dive into that just for a second. So freedom, start with that,
Freedom.
right? You go to University of Iowa, you're probably 18 years old or higher. Now there are some people that are under 18, but these are fucking adults. Okay, adult Iowans who are being forced to take a class mandated by the state legislature, who are not qualified, and almost there's like, especially on the Republican side, none of them have academic degrees like in academia, like
Right.
curriculum and PhD kind of level shit, where you
Right.
actually develop and design curriculum, right? They are being forced to take classes that are political in nature, that a bunch of propagandists feel is important to take.
Yeah.
That's not freedom. These are adults trying to get an education so they can get a job and so that they can pursue a career, stay in Iowa, for one. So you're telling me that they thought this was a good idea. These are the folks that are like, we got to preserve freedom, freedom important, freedom, blah, blah, blah. They wrap themselves in the fucking American flag, right? Like the big turds they are. And that's their version of freedom, is you have to do what we tell you to do as adults. Otherwise, you won't graduate.
Government mandated re-education courses
Yeah,
is what
essentially.
freedom is, Mike. Did you not get the
That's their
memo?
take on it.
You didn't get the memo?
For fucking adults.
Mm.
So anyone that comes to me and says the Republican Party is the party of freedom, that's absolute bullshit. They're not.
Like, look at the fucking government.
So
mandated-
the answer to liberal indoctrination, i.e., learning to think critically and research things from various viewpoints,
Mhm.
is
right-wing DEI.
indoctrination.
Indoctrination. Yeah, literally. Keep you from being able to do that.
Yeah.
And their excuse for this is, well, we're paying for what $10,000 this a year for you because we're going to give you the Iowa tuition grant as a student that goes to Iowa, kind of shit, right?
But
And
you
so-
would have got that grant anyway.
Well, that's my point. They were going to get their students are getting that already.
Right.
But this is kind of the point. Now, like if you're going to go to an Iowa school, then we're going to put strings attached to it. We're going to get our viewpoint expressed to make sure you hear that because you're not getting that in these liberal institutions.
But we're going to rely on the same professors in those liberal institutions to teach you this.
Right.
I actually I've been trying to figure out who teaches these courses, and I haven't figured it out yet.
How's-
But I'm
is it
sure it's
not
in the
on the-
course. Yeah, I'm sure it's in the course catalog. I don't know how that's going to work moving forward if they hire faculty in the center who do nothing but teach those courses versus we go get an economics professor, we go get a poli-sci
Right.
professor, we go get a sociologist or whatever, right?
They'll just
Um,
give an honorary doctorate to Jeff Shipley and let him teach it. Is my guess.
So yeah, I don't know what the plans are moving forward. But yeah, Jacob, I think you mentioned earlier that I saw a KCRG article a week or two ago. It's suspended at least till 2028 definitely. Right, this idea.
So that's freedom.
Yeah.
You know, so that's or the title of our show is the Puritan movement, or what do we call it?
Puritan test,
Puritan test. And we didn't say Puritan
not
test.
purity test. But
Puritan test. Because that seems to be the direction that the Republican Party has gone.
Puritan,
all hell-bent in,
Puritan.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you look online right now, anything like I intentionally delete my posts that I post on Facebook after about a week because that way I keep my algorithm sort of open so I get everybody's shit.
That
as
sounds
opposed
weird.
to- It
I
feels
don't
like
know
I'm
anybody
hiding
who does
shit, but it's been great because then I can actually see the other side,
Okay.
right? I get a lot of fucking right wing content. And granted, I also comment on a lot of right wing content because it's fun as fuck. And they all they're not used to people being in their space. They're not used to people being in their bubble, their algorithm bubble. But I delete everything. I don't delete my comments, but I delete my posts. Because otherwise it just has me like friends with you guys and a handful of other people that watch our show, and that's about it, right?
What else do you really need, Mike?
Correct. I just like know what the fuck's coming. Because usually the crazy shit gets put out about a week before it
On-
shows up
on social media.
Yeah, exactly. So like I just watch Steve Holt's feed, and then that's
Steve Holt.
week. So the big one came out about 3 weeks ago. There's a sort of like there was this incidents with Caitlin Clark.
We're going there.
Yep, they're playing the Phoenix Mercury. There's this whole backstory of a player at Indiana that her wife was in Phoenix and she was unhappy in Indiana. Her name was Bonner, her last name Bonner, and she great player, historically good player, one of the best, probably be a Hall of Famer. But she was at the end of her career. She wanted to get a championship with Indiana. Halfway through the season, she was disgruntled. She was coming off the bench. She was not happy, and she asked for a trade, and she left. Right, and there was some bad blood, sure. Now her wife is known as the enforcer, not the enforcer. She's just a badass. She's known as being super aggressive on the court, a little bit like a Bill Lambier. You remember
Ryan Reeves.
Fuck you, you fucking Ryan Reeves. Yes, like a Ryan Reeves. There's a whole backstory there we're not going to get into, but that was a great fucking comment.
Was there colonoscopy involved with that too?
That wouldn't surprise me. Ryan Reeves is known as the enforcer in the NHL. Like he's a badass, right? So that's this gal. Her is, and I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Thomas, maybe I can't remember her name. But they're in a game. There's a part where Caitlin honestly flails and falls on her ass. Like she's definitely a flopper. She's very LeBron James. If you watch her, I'm a huge Caitlin Clark fan, by the way. Huge Caitlin Clark fan. I'll watch her all the time. She's fantastic.
Is this the most recent? Like you're talking a few days.
No, I'm talking like a month ago.
Okay, so
The first incident happened and it suddenly became a big political thing, right?
Is this the point heard around the world?
The point?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
No, that's Sophie.
Same game though. Same game. Same game.
Okay, so this
Right?
this
No,
was a
sa-
hot
sa-
minute.
Yeah, it was a hot
Okay.
minute. So that started the Sophie Cunningham thing, right? But in that game, the wife of the gal that left Indiana Caitlyn flops because she flops all the fucking time because she
Yeah,
had
you do basketball.
but she had to flop
Right.
because they weren't calling fouls, right?
Right.
So she started doing the whole jerky
Yeah,
thing, right?
I saw a recent game. Sorry to
Yeah,
cut you
you're
up, but
good.
a
You're
recent game where basically she gets plowed over, where she's going to the net.
Yeah.
And gets plowed over and like has a contusion on her leg. And
Yeah,
after the
they
game,
called
she's like,
nothing.
"Refs, you got to catch this stuff."
Right.
Like
And
but
so she's being forced to
different
show
event
it.
though.
She's showing
Yeah.
it more because otherwise she never gets the
And now she's being not just showing it on the court; she's being vocal about it in the post games and in the interviews.
And they
and
have
stuff
been
like that.
for a while. To
Yeah.
be fair, that's been a long going thing. But here's the deal: she falls on her ass. No one touches her. She falls on her ass. She like barrels into 3 or 4 other people. They all fall on their asses too, right?
Yeah.
And then the wife of Bonner goes to get up and fist to throw Caitlyn
Oh.
pushing up, like Caitlyn's on the ground and she's right above her, and then immediately if you watch it, it's like really quick, like oh sorry, like I didn't mean to get you right there as she's getting up, but Republicans and every right wing media thing pause it right there at that moment,
Ah,
Right?
yeah.
and suddenly it's on the front page of all these fucking Facebook things. It's stupid.
It's anti-white racism.
Yeah,
right?
well, and then it's thugness. The
Thugness.
Thug is taking out Caitlyn Clark
Mm.
to the point that the Republican Congress people, including Zach Nunn, the Iowa congressman,
Yeah.
they write a letter to the WNBA
Oh my God.
calling for this to be looked into better and to protect Caitlyn and other players. What they're saying is protect the white girls from the
Right.
black girl thugs. Is what they're saying.
I am also a Caitlin Clark fan and a Fever fan, and I'm tired of this already.
Right?
I'm tired of this already. I get Caitlin's perspective. You got to make calls, right?
That's just normal games.
That's
though.
normal games.
LeBron James says
Right.
the same fucking thing.
Right. Yeah. You have the exact same post game shit going on in the NBA, right?
Right.
Or the NHL or the NFL.
Well, they just fight each other. They don't.
right. The NHL, they just go nuts, right?
That's what it is. Yeah.
But yeah, in fact, actually, I say that, and you don't get a lot of post game interviews
No.
when people are complaining
They-
about
no,
refs
they
not
don't.
making calls and whatnot.
They want to throw. They
Yeah,
want to.
they
want
wanna
to
fight.
off. Yeah.
So I like Caitlin Clark. I like the Fever. I'm a fan, but this is getting old.
Well, it gets worse. So then that exact same game, Sophie does the point heard around the world.
Yeah.
Which was funny as fuck.
It was.
Right?
Yeah.
I liked it.
Memes
you posted
galore.
about it, like,
Memes galore.
yeah, and to be frankly, when Bonner left, I was like, "Fuck you!" Like everybody's like, "Well, she has the right to choose what she wants to do." I'm like, "No, she signed a fucking contract. Finish the damn season. Just because you're not happy, finish. Follow through. That's one thing I learned a long time ago."
Yep.
She wasn't being abused. There was nothing wrong. She was coming off the bench. I'm sorry. Like, learn to figure out your team. It was bullshit that she left. I felt that way. Other people did not because they're very supportive of all the players. I was like, bullshit. She's a traitor. I would do that with any team that I'm part of.
Yep.
And so when this all happened, they started jawing, Bonner and Caitlyn did, and then they sort of bounced up against each other, and then Caitlyn did, or Sophie did the point. But of course, that got taken way fucking out there as the white girl enforcer defending Caitlyn, right?
Mhm.
And Sophie became an icon from it, and it was fucking awesome. But at the same time, it got added into the MAGA kind of lexicon
Mhm.
of white girl protecting from the black girl thugs concept, right?
Yeah.
And that wasn't what the case in the time. That's not what happened. It was a badass teammate move, what you do. Period. I think you were commenting on, like, it was fucking amazing. She was protecting her teammate. Doesn't matter if a white girl. Last year, she took out the white chick from UConn. Just absolutely crushed her. I can't remember her name.
Page.
Paige
No,
Becker.
It wasn't Paige Becker. Not UConn. Connecticut. The Suns.
W.
The girl that she played at Ohio State.
State, yeah.
JC.
Yeah. Sheldon.
Sheldon. Yeah.
Right. Sheldon had done something.
She
where
deserves to be taken out.
Yeah.
She's vicious.
super
She's dirty.
aggressive, right? All white, like it was a whole thing, white on white crime kind of
White
thing.
on white violence.
It was. It really was. Because she went after Caitlyn, got her across the arm or the face or something. Caitlyn started, then they got into each other's face, all that kind of shit. And then what? The next game, maybe 2 games later, JC Sheldon's going up for a layup, and here comes Sophie Cunningham, and it wasn't even pretend.
Yeah.
Like she took her into the freaking pylon that holds the basketball thing up. Like it was all on football tackle. Like
Yeah.
it was bad, right?
Yeah.
And that she became a legend for protecting Caitlyn Clark.
Yeah.
Right? That
Yep.
wasn't black versus white shit, right?
Right.
All that said, this letter gets written by Congress. Congressional officials weighing in on WNBA, right?
That's ridiculous.
It's just dumb.
But
It's
okay.
dumb, right?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
isn't your fucking league. You don't own the league. You don't govern the NCAA like you do at the NCAA.
It's like the president calling FIFA to get a
Yeah.
player to back on
or to get a fucking peace prize, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's fuck. What the fuck? So this happens, and then it becomes a sort of a thing where it's just constantly online all the time. And all you're seeing is this racial shit about Sophie and stuff like that. And then we have a whole moment where Obama meets the team during, I don't know, it's All-Star break or Indiana Fever time. I can't remember.
No,
what it was.
they went to the new presidential library.
That's right, in Chicago. It's
Yeah.
part of the All-Star game.
And it was the first basketball game played there was the WNBA. Not like
It's
a
like a pickup game.
but like a pickup game. Yeah.
Yeah. And Obama says very much caught on the mic, don't listen to all the haters, ignore the bullshit.
Yep.
You know, it was very clear to Caitlin. Clayton's agreeing. Caitlyn's on the stage surrounded by a bunch of African American women and lesbians. Let's just be that's her world that she
Yep.
lives in, right? And it is just driving the fucking MAGA world nuts.
Can't handle it.
They really can't.
Question.
Yeah.
So this is becoming a prominent thing. More and more and more you have politicians jumping into the world of culture, the cultural world of whatever.
Right.
And not just sports. Music, movies.
Yep.
Right? Like the Odyssey was just released and everyone's so pissed that
yeah.
the Helen of
Fantastic
Troy.
fucking movie.
I didn't go see it. Was it good?
No, I haven't seen it either. I've heard nothing but great reviews of it though.
So yeah,
By actual critics that actually watch movies for a living.
Right,
that-
right. And so they're going hard at the cultural points, right?
Right.
And my question is this, and we were talking a little bit about this in the green room. Can we call this the green room?
Well, it literally is. I think.
It literally is a green room. So prior to the show, we were talking a bit about the cultural defense movement, and you had asked Mike, like, when did our politics become so controlled by the Puritan class of
Right.
evangelicals and these super religious people? Sorry, I've got some phlegm in my throat tonight, folks.
good.
Anyway.
Good.
Liquids and
No
chips.
phlegm shaming
No,
here.
no phlegm shaming. But the my question is this becoming more and more of a prominent part of the Republican or the right wing strategy because they sense that they are losing the culture, right? In the 2024 election, I felt that heavy. Hollywood and you always have Hollywood and musicians and artists and whatnot that take the Democrat side, right? And they do the concerts and the get out the vote stuff and all those types of things, right? That's kind of common. But I feel it happening more and more and more where you have prominent cultural symbols or people who are prominent in our culture who are opposing, especially when it comes to immigration policy, it comes to how we are handling the war in Iran, so on and so forth. Is it becoming a bigger part of their strategy because they sense they're losing culture? That's my question.
Yeah, but the thing is it's been in their face for a long time. They didn't realize it. I mean, this is just like the Gen X conservative that loves Rage Against the Machine until they actually like looked
Read
up
the
the
lyrics.
lyrics and
Right.
they were like, wait a minute.
We are the
Mhm.
machine.
Or the fact that like, Bruce Springsteen is Born in the USA has been used in as part of election campaigns for a long time.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's an anti-war song.
Yeah.
And it didn't become a thing until he came out and told Trump, don't use it anymore. Like, I don't want to be associated with you.
Well,
and
sorry, go ahead, Jacob.
And I think that's the thing is that probably more than ever, I think you see artists distancing themselves from Trump unlike has ever been done. It's not just a conservative thing. It's literally Trump and MAGA that they're distancing themselves from.
So you're seeing that distancing.
Yeah.
On that side.
I mean, their heroes are starting to do this, and these people that they've idolized are starting to do this, and they're struggling with drawing that line in the sand, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I feel they're starting to lose the cultural touchstones, the cultural places or havens that helped deliver the White House of Trump in 2024. And by that, I'm really talking about this whole, they call it the manosphere,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like Joe Rogan and the podcast bros, they're bailing on Trump. And a lot of it has to do with Iran. But a lot of it has to do with Epstein, and a lot of it has to do just with the cost of living and not delivering on promises, right? Trump said, I'll cut your energy bill in half, like within a year.
Right.
Like we're well beyond that, and my energy bill is higher.
So let's say that the right way then. A lot of it has to do with the corruption of him saying he's going to do all the shit, but ultimately He didn't do any of it. He's just making money for himself, and they're
Yeah.
watching him profit off
Right.
being a president while he's doing nothing that he said he would do.
Right. And then what the idiot Andrew Tate and his brother,
Oh my God!
they're going away. They're going away
Again.
for a real long time.
Like he should never come back to the United
Right.
States.
Right. And the only reason they came back to the United States from Romania was because the Trump administration pulled some strings and got them out of trouble.
Yeah.
They are not able to get them. The Trump administration is not going to be able to get them out of this
Yeah.
trouble unless they just tell the UK we're not going to. There's no way that they don't extradite Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
they have to.
It's the Trump administration, so there's always a way.
You do that, and now all of a sudden we're in a diplomatic crisis with one of our strongest allies.
Not only that, but I think if he was going to do it, he would have done it by now.
Yeah,
I mean, they're friends with Barron,
Oh,
yeah,
so
good point. Good point.
yeah.
But going all the way full circle, then there's these. You mentioned earlier, Kellen, like it's right in front of their faces.
Yeah.
Like I think of the time when Caitlin was playing basketball for Iowa, right? Like if you were really paying attention, you knew that.
Caitlin Clark played for Iowa.
Yeah, I know. Go figure, right? Caitlin's best friend is Kate Martin on
Yes.
the team. Kate Martin is an openly gay
Yep.
human being. She's a lesbian, open about it.
Yep.
Was in good relationship with another Iowa athlete for a long time.
Yep.
Right. Two other teammates were dating.
Pretty sure Coach Jay.
Coach Jensen's in an openly gay.
Yep.
Yeah, Stephanie White, the coach of the Indiana Fever, is
Gay.
is gay.
but they're white, Mike.
I know, right. They don't. Yeah, exactly. So exactly, like it's so they ignore it. They pretend it's not a thing
Right.
until they have to deal with it.
Well, it's not being shoved down their throat, so to speak. I think all of those things would have been handled much differently if you saw like Coach Jensen shoving her tongue down her wife's throat celebrating a win.
I mean, she was there occasionally. They would kiss after a game, I think, on the court, like anybody would after a big win during the. I mean, I know she was at all the games.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I didn't see all that happen, but I know that kind of stuff was happening all the time in those games after. I mean, I went to some of those games. Like they didn't hide relationships. I don't know about Coach Jay, but
No, I'm not saying they didn't hide it. I'm just saying that it
Yeah.
wasn't like it wasn't like a core part of their personality or their
Right.
image.
oh, good point. Good point. But so this is
So it was easy for people to sort of overlook that.
right.
That and the fact that they're white.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Meanwhile, heterosexual relationships are like they're kissing on the court, and no one even thinks twice about it. Right. Just if they're gay, they're not allowed to do that publicly. Otherwise, people are going to take offense.
Right.
And that's it's right in their face the whole time. They just don't know it. To your point, it's not
Yeah.
like so blatant, and it's easy. It's convenient for them to ignore because of straight white girls draining threes from freaking logo.
Right.
Right.
Well, and I mean, we have, there's a long history of this.
Okay.
I mean, you can point to a number of people in pop culture, whether they're musicians, whether they're athletes that have been gay. I'll use that as the example, where that's sort of overlooked. It's usually not until later on in their life or following their career after their death. On the music side, Freddie Mercury,
Oh yeah.
Elton John.
Right.
You
He's
know,
not dead,
at
by
the
way.
at
He's
the
not dead. He's quite blatantly open.
well, yeah,
gay,
but
very
but
much alive.
but at the onset of their career, when they became
Right.
super popular,
Yeah, it took a while.
they were just rock stars.
Yeah,
at that time.
yeah.
It's a great point. It's a great point. So this whole saga with Caitlin and Sophie continues this last week.
Mhm.
Sophie says on a podcast something like that she is opposed to trans women in sports,
Yes.
and with no nuance, no like anything more about what that issue is.
It's a blanket statement.
It's just a blanket statement, right?
Yeah.
And of course, the right wing takes that up as like this massive thing.
Right, and the rest of us are super disappointed
Yeah,
as Fever fans. As
Right.
you know, whatever.
right. And there's only ever been one trans athlete in the WNBA.
I was super pumped when Fever picked up Sophie Cunningham.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, wow.
Although she did have
She's
that kind
awesome.
of background. She already had said
Did she?
comments that
I
were
see. I didn't
divisive.
dive into that deep, but see,
Yeah.
you just told me you deleted all your comments, so you don't get the bubble.
Yeah.
So maybe I just need to delete, or not your
Start
comments, your
deleting.
posts.
Yeah,
Or
start
just delete
deleting,
them.
man. Yeah.
Actually, now that I think about
She
it,
came out as a Trump supporter quite a long time ago. So a lot
Oh,
of
did she?
a lot of left leaning folks didn't
Okay.
like her from the very beginning. Didn't want to see her at the Fever.
Okay.
I think she's a great athlete.
Dude,
So
she's
I-
from Southern Missouri.
exactly Like
No, that's Missouri.
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 or
That's
Missouri.
down
That's
in
what they
Missouri.
call it. In Iowa. Missouri. Yeah. I mean, and so like half the WNBA is like, I don't know how many of the players are openly gay, openly lesbian. I don't know how many, quite a few of them are trans in the sense they're non-binary.
Right.
They weren't biologically born. They don't necessarily identify as different gender they were born with, kind of thing. But there has been one trans athlete that was born and identified as male by a doctor when they were born, kind of thing, that played in WNBA. That happened. No one cared or thought twice about it, right? For the longest time, right?
Who was that?
I don't know. I just knew there was
You just
one.
read-
Someone's.
yeah,
I
you
read
read
there was
the
one,
report,
and
yeah.
they're leaving there. I don't know who it was. I'm sure someone might.
No, I'm
comment
gonna
who
go
it
dig this
was.
up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know who it was.
You on it, Jacob?
Yep.
But even then, like, it wasn't like the best player of all time, right? This issue is like literally percentage wise negligible. Like
So-
when you look at like polling and stuff, you have a margin of error
Yep.
and all that kind of shit, right?
Yep.
And whether or not a fact is relevant or not, is it a strong enough correlation to actually be relevant, kind of stuff. There is, compared to how many girls that play sports, in terms of trans girls, there's like zero.
Right.
There is some that play.
Are some?
Are some? Sorry, there are some. Thank you.
Sorry, I try really hard
Fucking-
not to
You're
correct.
you're going back into your. I'm a teacher. I'm a professor thing. Aren't you? Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
off the mic for a while.
Yes,
sorry.
you have. It's all good. Thank you, Mom. Appreciate it, Mom. But like the number is so few and far in between. And what happens is Republicans find like the 5 they can
Yeah.
find,
Yeah.
and then they dig through and find the one of those 5 that actually is dominant in the
Mhm.
game, and then they post nonstop video of them dominating a women's game, right?
Right.
Which when you play against Asia Wilson, she's dominating you way fucking more than that chick is, right? Like,
so you're telling me the trans woman assigned male at birth who was playing in the WNBA was not the top scorer, top
No.
player, best player in the WNBA?
no one even knew she was fucking trans. Like it never even like occurred to anybody. I guess I don't know. Some people may have known inside in the thing. But I'm saying in all sports, period.
Yeah.
There may have been 1 or 2 big ones that have made like championship level like athleticism shit. But you have to understand this. I think is the problem with being from rural Iowa, is that we see the world as like, oh, there's a handful of sporting events every day that happen. The Panthers play in this event, or they do this, and we see the Hawkeyes play, right? They don't realize that in every damn small community across the entire damn state of Iowa, there's athletic events going on. And in every town that's larger than 10,000 people, there's probably a college of some kind playing at some kind of college event with 8 or 9 sports in a given year that they have going on. And then there's club sports and there's team sports. There's all this other shit, rec league stuff. There are sports happening all the time with literally millions of people participating at any given time, at any moment during the daytime in the United States. And a small handful of those games that are happening have a trans person playing in them, let alone a good trans woman playing against girls. And finally, it's a fucking game. Get
Okay.
over it. No one's suffering.
Hold on,
because you
though.
got your ass
Hold on though, before you guys say anything more about this.
Yeah.
The player in question is Laisha. I'm sure I'm blowing that up, but or Laisha Clarendon.
Okay.
She was the first non-binary transgender athlete in the WNBA, but she is basically trans women to man, not the other way around.
Oh. Okay.
She's had top surgery.
And I only know who she is because she's not that good. But even then, like
I just looked up, like, if we think about it the other direction, where you have people who are assigned female at birth who are now trans men.
Mhm.
There are several. So Mac Beggs is a wrestler,
Right.
assigned female at birth, trans man,
Right.
wins
Well,
against men.
I think that's the thing they're really afraid of.
I
think men are afraid of
the other way
losing.
around, right?
Yeah.
Like losing to girls.
In
Can't
their,
lose
in their
to a
head.
girl.
In their head.
Right.
Don't lose to a girl, even
Chris,
though it's
Chris Mosier is a triathlete,
yeah.
Well,
female.
no, but you can scare the shit out of a small town male if they have daughters by saying you're gonna have a man in their
locker
in their
room.
daughter's locker room.
Yeah, that's the shit I hear
But
most.
why is
often.
that scary? Like we had that survey we did online Like, if would you rather be locked in a bathroom with a male you've never met or a
Trans
male,
woman.
trans woman?
Yeah.
No, trans woman. Yeah. I was
Here's where I diverge from this a little bit.
Go ahead.
And I guess I can kind of understand perhaps where Sophie Cunningham's coming from.
Okay.
There's
We're good.
there's not as much data, I don't think, from what I've seen regarding whether or not there's a documented biological advantage if you have a transgender male, so someone that was born male, transgenders
so
or transitions to female,
Yep.
playing in female athletics,
Right.
And certainly at the high school level, I mean, they generally haven't done all the hormone replacement therapy,
Right.
So I mean, I can see where there's a gray area there, and I can see where people would be angry and upset if they lost the state title or something like that in an individual competitive sport. Now, the WNBA, that doesn't fucking matter.
Right.
Any team sport doesn't matter. It's when it comes down to individual competition like wrestling or track or
skiing.
Right.
Yeah.
But see, I'll even
Swimming,
I'll
like
even
Lake and Riley.
counter you on that one a little bit because, like, again, as I was saying right before you jumped in, it's just a game. No one is losing their lunch off of it. No one's getting that girl who may have gotten second place because they had to compete in the 4x100, no, just the 100-meter dash against a
Riley
trans
Gaines,
female.
not
Hold on,
Lake
hold
and
on.
Riley. Sorry,
Yeah,
I
no,
messed
yeah,
that up.
different.
Lake and Riley
Yeah.
was a
Riley Gaines, different one,
Yeah,
right?
Riley Gaines.
But the girl that got second place in the championship of a state track meet, right, in an individual competition, she still got a fucking amazing scholarship to go to college, to run in
Right.
track, right? The coaches know it's just a freaking game. Like, oh no, you didn't get a gold medal, you got a silver medal for that. It doesn't change your life in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
And if you have a halfway decent fucking parent to explain, like, you know, there might have been an advantage there, I don't know. Like, it's just a game. Like, we're not talking about shit. Like, some 3-year-old just watched his dad get gunned down by ICE in Maine a month ago. That we should be fucking, you know, protesting about. That's horrid. That kid got his life absolutely changed and whiplashed. Sports is sports, and we're taking it so fucking seriously.
Right.
And here's the alternative. Is what the reason I push back against that is the alternative is that we don't allow these athletes to play against the gender that they feel they are inside. And by the way, not a choice. It is very much documented in scientific journals and studies that, by and large, anyone who identifies as trans does not see it as a choice. They discover it about themselves.
Mike.
Not a choice, right? But hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. So that said, the alternative by not letting them compete is a 20% suicide rate.
Yeah.
By those kids.
Yeah.
So, like, with all due respect to the parent to Riley Gaines is a great example, who has gone on a career because she got 5th place and tied with a trans woman. Fuck you, Riley Gaines. Like, fuck you. Like, oh no, you had to share a damn podium. Your life didn't change at all.
She came in 5th.
She came 5th, yeah. 5th
She
place.
she didn't share anything.
No, she tied for 5th place with the gal, sorry. She tied for 5th
But
place.
she didn't share the podium because the podium's top
Well,
3.
No, it was a multi thing. It was like one of those eight places.
Oh, 8 places.
Yeah, one of those
So she got the participation trophy.
She did. She didn't even, but she tied for participation trophy.
She tied
right?
for the participation
Yeah.
trophy.
But that's what I'm saying.
Aw.
Like, your
Wait,
life
we have
did
the little
not change.
womp, womp, womp.
I know, right? Your life did not change. It's a game.
Right.
And the trade-off, and this is why coaches and teachers and professors and doctors and parents are all like, it's okay for them to be part of this, because the trade-off is you have a bunch of kids committing suicide because people are assholes and don't want to treat them for who they are and how God made them, or you lose a fucking track meet.
Right. So it's
Like,
a trade-off.
Oh no. Like, and then I get into the whole bathroom thing too on that one. That's the big scare tactic, right? It's like, oh, you have male in the no, the issue is not that someone could harm your daughter in a bathroom. It's not what gender they are.
Right.
The issue is an attack.
Right.
Right. And It's not even close. The numbers aren't even close. Straight white males, even when they're not supposed to be in the bathroom, they go in the bathroom and they attack the women.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
that's the threat.
Yep.
There are very few, if any, there are some cases of transgendered people attacking other people, but it's nothing to do with their gender.
Statistically speaking, it's even less likely to happen than the
Yes.
straight women.
Yeah.
Question, pop
Yeah.
quiz.
Go ahead.
How many NCAA athletes are there?
It's single digits in there.
No. Total
Oh, total?
NCAA
Yeah, there's-
athletes across all the NCAA.
I can't
I
remember.
don't know,
You
couple 100,000.
It is between 510 to 530,000 athletes over 1,100 member colleges and universities in any
Okay.
given year. It varies, right?
Yeah.
Each year. How many?
Wait, 510. How many?
510 to between 510,000 and 530.
510,000.
500, 500,000. There
Yeah.
are more than a 500,000
Thank you.
NCAA
You,
athletes
did,
total.
you didn't add the 1,000 part right there at the end. You
Sorry.
just said 510. I'm like,
Oh, I'm
there's
sorry.
more than 510.
510K, 530K,
yeah.
somewhere in there, that range, any
Yeah.
given year. How
Right.
many transgender total, either way, trans women or trans men, how many total transgender student athletes are competing in the NCAA?
Less than 100.
The NCAA president, Charlie Baker, testified to Congress that known transgender athletes competing in the association numbered in the single digits.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought it was like 3 or 4.
It's difficult because a lot of them don't report.
Right.
Some of them, but it's fewer than 10
Well, and
in any given year.
let's look at that for a second. Let's even talk about there's not a direct correlation between intersex, biological intersex and transgender identity, gender identity, but they think there's some connections with it, right? What you're born with in terms of your enzymes, your parts, all that kind of stuff. 1 to 2% of every baby born, so 1 out of every 100, 2 out of every 100 have intersex biological things. So maybe organs that are maybe both or half or whatever of different biological sexes, to hormones that people have, to enzymes, to gonads, to glands that are usually identified with a gender. And 2 kids out of every 100, 1 out of every 50 are born with that. in some
There's
way, shape,
even
or form.
there are even like cases of genital ambiguity
Yeah.
where there are some people, and you use the word intersex. That is a
Intersex
thing.
the biological term. Yeah. Is
Right.
what they say.
Yeah.
Intersex. Yeah.
You can have both.
Yeah.
Genital types or pieces of both, and for some people it's a really uncomfortable conversation, but that is an absolute
It's a normal
fact.
thing.
That's
And
a
it's-
thing
it's
that happens.
way more common than people think. And you have all these fucking Puritans out there like, you're a man or you're a woman. There's nothing in between. 1 out of every 50 kids, babies born in every hospital across the United States right now, you don't know if they're a man or a woman.
I don't think
Boy or
anybody
girl.
who says some shit like that, like you're either a man or a woman.
God
There's only
said,
two.
God-
I want to see your high school transcript because I would really like to see how well you did in high school science
Right.
class.
Right.
Well,
Seriously.
but that's just it. Is they don't know. I mean, I will admit until I watched it, and I cannot remember what the name of the documentary was.
Kate with Katie Couric, that one.
Yes.
National Geographic has it. I can't
Yeah.
remember what it's called either. But
Yeah.
it's a great one. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, they talked about how up until basically the early '90s, that if you had both parts, they would just snip that off and be like,
Right.
"Yep, you're a girl."
They make the
How do
choice for
choose?
you.
Yeah.
But you know, it doesn't
hard choice
become
for a
obvious until puberty, depending upon how those hormones get released and what those chromosomes look like.
Yeah, and there's a lot of fucking chromosomes, and we're not normal. There's no such thing as binary gender. People don't figure that's basic science. That's 101 shit that a lot of people. But here's the argument you get is, well, God says there's one or the other, and that's that Puritan test we're getting at again.
Yep.
And they're saying they're protecting girls in sports, and what they're not doing is they're not protecting these 1 out of every 50, 2 out of every 50 kids.
Yeah.
They're not protecting those kids, and that's what we're doing. We're coming in and saying, stop harassing, stop bullying, stop causing these kids to want to commit suicide,
Yeah.
because that's far worse than, oh no. Here's the thing. I played basketball in high school, right? I played against Ricky Davis. Do you guys remember Ricky Davis? He played in the NBA. He played for Iowa.
I remember Ricky Bobby.
Well, Ricky Bobby is amazing.
Shake and bake, baby.
Jess Settles.
Yeah, of course.
that played
Yeah,
against
Jeff
Jeff Settles,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
For most Iowans, Jeff Settles, he was one of the greatest freshman players ever. He had a bunch of back issues and didn't really finish his college career. Probably could have been in the NBA if he didn't have that, right?
Yeah.
But he was dominant in high school. He
Yeah.
played for Winfield, Iowa, which was 10 minutes down the road from Mount Pleasant.
Tiny
Yeah,
school district.
Absolutely
Tiny.
schooled us. He could shoot from Caitlin Clark range, but he was 6 foot, what?
I know
5?
where his house is on the way
Yeah.
to Minneapolis.
Yeah. The guy was dominant, right?
Mhm.
How the fuck is that fair? He just happens to have bigger genes than everybody else, and he has a shooting gene because he can make any fucking shot. Like, we had to play against Jeff Settles.
I honestly don't see a difference.
Ricky Davis, fucking, our only goal was he didn't dunk on us. That was our game plan. He's not going to dunk. We
Keep him
took
away
out a
from the
couple
net.
times, right?
Yeah.
He was from Davenport West. He came in, and our only goal was keep him from dunking on us. He scored 45 on us, and he went and played at Iowa, played in the NBA. Like, that's a genetic advantage that guy has, and it is not fair. It is not comfortable. It is not safe on that court with Ricky Davis. He's
Right.
going to fly over you. Like,
You gonna whoop that ass?
he is, and he
Yeah.
did. He absolutely whooped our fucking ass.
Yeah.
So they're telling me that, and there's Aja Wilson, right, and all these other great players that are like that. And quite frankly, Kate Martin,
Yeah.
will whip your fucking ass, and she did. She was sort of Caitlin's enforcer.
Yeah,
in
she
a
was.
way, right? Like,
And that's honestly, I think, why she couldn't find her place in the WNBA, Kate Martin.
she's
Because
still finding it. She's still finding it.
I think she ends up in coaching.
I hope so eventually.
Just she's
I want
gonna
to
be
see
a
her
good
give a
coach.
shot. She's still a Los Angeles Spark on a developmental contract. I know.
Let's
It's tough to see.
Yeah.
But that said, that's not my point. Is there are dominant people on an athletic field because they're
Yeah.
genetically better than everybody else. It doesn't matter what fucking gender you are. You're
Right.
going to have that.
Has nothing to do with the gender.
We chose to separate out people by gender for whatever reason at one point. And honestly, like, you get into co-ed leagues. Europe has a lot of co-ed leagues. They separate everybody out by ability, flat up. Like,
Yeah, I find it very odd that the sociological hat comes on, and I'm like, we spend a lot of time like covering our bodies and our genitals and our parts, right? But then we identify our genitals and our parts by the colors that we wear. Like a
Mhm.
boy can't wear pink and a girl can't wear blue, right? Well,
Right.
they can, but for the Puritan class, point in all of this. There's a podcast. It's one of those. I love true crime podcasts. You guys get into true crime podcasts at all? No.
I know some people listen to them before they go to bed, and I'm like, really?
I'll watch them on Netflix.
I've been listening to one.
Do you really? What's a good one on Netflix?
Worst Neighbor Ever. Is a
Worst
pretty good
Neighbor.
one.
The Staircase is a good one on Netflix.
Okay.
They have one on the Murdochs down in South Carolina on Netflix. That's
Isn't there
pretty
one
good.
about Idaho murders or something that's going on right now? Everybody's talking about.
Yep.
So have we talked about how he was
No.
my student?
No. What?
Brian Koberger was my student at DeSales University.
Seriously?
I had him in
Is
class.
he one of the Idaho murders?
He is the
He is the
Idaho
murderer?
murderer. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Brian Koberger is the guy who knifed all those people.
What?
He just he
Jesus.
recently filed a thing saying I'm taking back my guilty plea. So this is maybe becoming a thing again. But anyway, yeah, he pled guilty to avoid the death penalty. But yeah, he's the guy, the Idaho,
Okay.
Moscow,
What'd you
University of
teach
Idaho,
him? Don't know.
political theory.
Mhm.
He was there for a master's degree in criminal justice.
Are you allowed to talk about
Brilliant.
this as a teacher? Talk about your students. Don't get in trouble.
Generally, I can't
Okay.
talk about like his grades or his
Okay.
what a super smart kid. Performed very, very well. Not notable other than very smart and did very well. Kind of went under the radar and whatnot. He was recommended out of our department, the social sciences department, for a PhD. And like
Oh.
that is really like for an undergrad student, for faculty to be like this person here needs to go get a PhD. There are only so many PhDs, right? So for somebody to identify on this guy needs to go for a PhD, which is how
Sure.
he ends up where he was. I think he was at University of Washington and then went to Idaho, like crossed the border to go do the murder.
So how do we get to the murder thing?
Oh, podcast.
We stacked. Yeah, podcast.
So,
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
I watched this true crime. I was listening to this true crime podcast, and it's called Dead Certain, and it's a relatively recent one, and it's about Michael Skakel and the Martha Moxley murder from 1975.
Okay.
So Michael Skakel was 15. Martha
Listen to
Moxley.
this like on your trip home on vacation.
Yeah, I listened to the
With the-
whole way up
with
and the
the
whole way
kids
back, and then I
in the
listened to it. Well, they have like headphones.
Oh, okay.
One of them's 3 and doesn't understand it. It's like,
Yeah. Continue. Sorry.
nah, I've lost my train of thought.
You were listening to this podcast.
True crime podcast, but regardless, it's really interesting.
Oh, your sociological hat on. That's how
Yeah,
you got here.
putting the sociological hat on.
Right. About clothes we wear, and despite us being gender, like we hide all our gender parts, and then we identify ourselves by the clothes we wear based on gender.
Yeah.
That's where you were. in the
Yeah,
beginning
yeah.
of the
And in this podcast, Dead Certain, it's incredible. It just wrapped up, but it has ties to the Kennedy family. Like RFK Jr. is interviewed on it because RFK Jr. This is his cousin who was convicted of murdering this 15-year-old girl in 1975 when he was also 15. He was convicted in 2003.
Okay, bring it back to the topic though.
Anyway,
I don't
anyway,
run down the podcast.
The prosecution
You're gonna
in
get
that
it all the way
case,
on me.
the
Yeah.
prosecution in that case brings up the fact, because he's from a Catholic family, brings up the fact that one of these nights, the night of the murder, or maybe close to the murder, the maid, the housemaid, this super, super rich family, right? The Kennedys, they live in Greenwich, Connecticut, right?
Sure.
Bellhaven in Greenwich, Connecticut. And the maid finds Michael Skakel in his bed with his mom's dress.
Okay.
Okay. Mom had recently died.
You don't have to give me the whole rundown. Give me
No, I'm not. Mom had recently died,
Okay.
but that was used against him because the maid walked in and he is interviewed and he's like, I missed my mom. She had died the year or two prior, and I wanted to sleep with my mom's dress, like holding it. Because I missed my mom really, really bad, and that was giving me comfort, right?
Sounds like some Ed Gein shit. Sorry,
Well,
dude.
no, but he's not. I don't think he's the killer. But anyway, he ends up. Yeah, his whole thing gets tossed, and his sentence was vacated and all that shit.
Okay.
Anyway, that turns into the maid telling the dad, who is super Catholic and they're super, super right wing Republican. That whole family is. That turns into, I caught your son wearing your dead ex-wife's or dead.
So suddenly
Widow.
becomes,
I caught your son wearing your mom or wearing his mom's dress.
Right.
But that wasn't what was happening. He just missed his mom and wanted to sleep with her dress.
the smell of it and all that kind of stuff, right?
I totally get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's where I was going
But
with that.
suddenly it's a judgment on his gender, on his all that kind of stuff.
Manliness, his religion, his so on and so forth, right? And that becomes a touch point.
So I got a question for you both. I want your honest opinions on this, right?
Yeah.
I have a theory on all this. And
Okay.
and living back in rural after I grew up in rural, left to the city, came back to rural, and I see this more and more. And I saw it in the city too. Case in point, I took a donor from New York City to overseas. I don't want to get too much into this. I don't want to identify who this person is, but they're a very wealthy person, and we took her to Nicaragua to do a site visit of UNICEF programming, right? And we're there, and it becomes very clear that she's uncomfortable being in that space. And within a day, she's on a plane back to New York.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she's obviously has a lot of anxiety. And then I met with her 6 months later
Mhm.
and to go through stuff. And she's part of our UNICEF stuff. And she had basically built her apartment, which she's super wealthy, lives on downtown New York City somewhere. And it was like this fortress. She had used all her money to have like 4-door people that kept people from getting in. All these like security things, like you could not get to her. It took forever to get to her apartment
Mm-hmm.
to even meet with her because you had to go through all these security checkpoints. She is nothing special. She has a lot of money, but she's not like a well-known person. No one's going to come after her for anything. She's not like a politician's wife or a politician herself, nothing like that. But she was like bundled up in Fort Knox. She had created this space of pure security using all the money she had that she got from herself or ex-husband. I can't remember how she got her money. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly anxiety.
Okay.
Clearly she is scared silly.
Yeah.
Right? About something, about life, about dangers out in the world. She's been told this shit, right? And then I moved back to rural and I see this thing happen. And not everyone in rural is like this. And I know this for a fact they aren't. But a lot of people choose rural because it's a controlled environment.
Mm-hmm.
There's not as many people to have to interact with. The scariness disappears. Most people look like you. They act like you. They talk like you. It's a controlled environment in which they can control the settings much more. And I think that is a sign of severe anxiety. I think a lot of people can't get out of rural, can't go to a city, can't leave. I know people have never left Mount Pleasant.
I know people who have never left.
Yeah.
Pleasant.
And it's all because they're scared. Right. And I feel very strongly about this. I think a lot of the far right movement, especially the far right movement that's invested into rural, especially the ones that are focused on heritage and keeping our roots and preserving who we are and who was here before kind of shit, even though they took all that land from Native Americans and it wasn't who they were.
We'll just
All
ignore
that
that
shit.
part,
Yeah. I think they're just scared shitless. I think they're a bunch of freaking anxiety and it needs help. They need help. They need like doctor and therapy for it. But I think they're just scared shitless little cowards who can't get out of their fucking bubble. And so then they try to make everyone else fit their bubble.
Yeah.
And I'm more and more convinced of that since I moved back to rural.
I 100%
Is
agree
that
with you.
something? What do you think, Cal? What do you think, Jacob?
I don't know that I totally agree with that assessment.
What do you
I
got?
think, well, I think that it's not necessarily anxiety. I think it's just general comfort.
Okay.
I mean, I know these people. I've hung out with these people.
Mhm.
Generally speaking, they're very accepting of other people as
Oh,
long
sure.
as whatever it is that is different isn't brought front and center.
Right. So
The
they
second they
other
do
people
that-
can't be themselves.
Yeah.
So
the
be
second,
gay, just don't be gay in front of me.
right,
Right.
right.
So what is that then? What do you call that if it's not anxiety or fear?
It's just it's. I mean, I guess you could argue that it's a form of anxiety, but really, it's more just that they're uncomfortable with it. It's something they're not used to.
Is it
Right.
is it control?
It's not the anxiety aspect of it. I think I hate there are definitely hateful bigots out there,
Mhm.
but I don't think that everybody that tends to be conservative is necessarily hateful or bigoted. I think it's
I
really
agree,
just
yeah.
a matter of this is outside of my comfort zone and I don't know what to do with it.
Right.
And like you said, it's the fact that everything else in their world is kind of controlled. Like they're comfortable with everything that they're dealing with. I mean, I know a lot of people that are like, "Oh, Chicago, it's a war zone. I'm not going to Chicago."
Yeah.
And they're people that avoid big cities. I mean, I know people that are scared to death to go to Des Moines.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I guess
Yeah.
you could argue that it's a type of anxiety. But I don't like painting it in the brush that they're necessarily like hateful or intolerant.
So
Right,
Melody in her comments chimed in and said they've studied this.
Oh, okay.
And I believe Melody is correct. People who are conservative are more scared. We talked a little bit about like some of the brain scans and some of the
Yeah, we talked about that with the
science.
amygdala and things
Yep.
like that. The
Yep.
fear response aspect of it. Yeah, there's definitely.
Yeah.
I would argue that I definitely see that sense of fear,
Less anxiety, more fear is what you're saying.
but it goes back to. I mean, I think you can really. I'm obviously no expert in this, but I think you can argue that goes back to sort of the tribalism, evolutionary survival, right?
Mhm.
That anybody who's not like us is a
Who's the
danger.
enemy kind of thing. So this is where we get sort of a point of conflict that exists in our rural communities as a result of that. Is that you're absolutely right, Jacob. I don't think many people are hateful. I don't think I know I have family members that you could if you called them like bigoted or hateful, they would get really offended because they're very kind people. And in general, when given all the information and time to adjust and all that kind of stuff, they're actually very, very accepting people. But what we've developed in a lot of our rural communities instead, as a result of that discomfort that you're describing, people just uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
is people who are gay, people who are trans, people who are independent as a woman, even, and not traditional like trad wife in some cases. People that have a different perspective on the global world, whatever it might be, they can't be their authentic selves in front of them because they're told you're stepping out of line.
Yeah.
You know, and that makes me uncomfortable. I got into a whole Facebook deal with that a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago that actually generated the topic that we talked about 2 weeks ago about It Is Personal. I think it was what we titled that show.
It is.
But like, so we all have to be, or in this case, my kid has to pretend that they're a straight girl
Modify their behavior
in order to make that person comfortable.
feel comfortable.
Right. And that's where that's where I think people don't realize that there's a difference, but it's still the same. It's not vengeance filled hate. I hate black people. I hate women. I hate gay people. It's not that kind of like hate that people have when they're angry, but it's, I don't want to be uncomfortable, so you can't be yourself. And what that does is that tells somebody they can't be themselves. And that's not okay. That's a form of racism. That's a form of sexism. That's a form of sexism that people don't identify as isms, but it still is. Like if you're not allowed to be yourself in front of a group of people, that's a form of racism. That's a form of sexism, a form of heterosexism.
Question.
Yeah.
There was an evangelical preacher. Let's call her that. Her name is Whitney Lynn. Oh, I probably should have said her name. Whatever. She's a Instagram influencer.
Okay.
The reason I didn't want to say her name is because I didn't want to give her like traction.
Oh, sure.
Not because I'm like worried about outing her. She was recently hauled off of a United Airlines, Alaska Airlines, United Airlines, one of the two.
Oh, I think I saw this.
She was recently hauled off a plane. So the plane is like delayed, right? And it's like sitting on the runway, I guess, and they're not going anywhere and whatnot. And she gets up and starts preaching about like the end times.
On the plane?
On the plane. Like people are on the plane and they're like waiting a taxi to take off and the plane's delayed. And so Whitney decides, and she broadcasts this on like TikTok or some fucking platform. She decides what she's going to do during this plane delay is I'm going to preach the gospel to this entire plane full of a captive audience. And I'm going to get up and tell them about how awesome Jesus is and about how the end times are upon us. She went into the end times preaching, right? And like, even if it wasn't just the end times, like the whole preaching thing. So my question here is like, we're in this same scenario, right? Like if I'm on that plane, I am incredibly uncomfortable with someone getting up and talking about how like the end is nigh and we're all going to die and Jesus is the only salvation and repent or face hell, fire and brimstone. Am I like she gets hauled off the plane, like the attendants come and get her, and then she posts like her victimization video of her getting hauled off, and she's like, "Oh my God, talking about Jesus gets you kicked off a plane now, right?"
Which was her intent in the first place.
Yeah, of course it was, right? Now she's viral, and that's why I didn't want to say her name. And now she's viral, and everybody. So I'm like, and I'm just playing a little devil's advocate here, right? Like, so that if I'm on that plane, I'm uncomfortable. And it's like, do I have the ability to say, I guess the question I'm really asking is like, where as a society do we draw the line, or where as a society do we say there are guardrails or there are rules or there are guidelines? I guess I saw that this week and I said, I would absolutely stand up and clap for the airline attendants who hauled her ass off the plane, because I don't want to listen to someone preaching at me for 30 minutes about how my soul is damned to hell. So give me while I'm waiting for my fucking flight to take off.
Give me your opinion on this then.
Yeah.
Different scenario. She instead stands up, pulls out fucking Twilight, the book.
Vampires. Right? Yeah.
Vampires. Yeah. And she starts reading at the top of her lungs the last chapter of the book that you're reading right now, by the way.
It gets spicy.
And you want to, well, no, not even spicy. Who cares? Who cares what topic is? Okay. Maybe it's the end of it and you're trying to read the fucking book.
I just outed myself as someone who's read Twilight.
I've read Twilight. Dude, you were like a teen when that thing came out. You better have been reading Twilight. That's part of it, right?
Yeah.
I should be the one like, I was in my 20s and I shouldn't have been reading Twilight. But like, I don't want to hear any fucker get up and read any book to me while I'm in the damn airplane. That's my space.
Twilight, the Bible, the Quran.
You're taking advantage of the fact that people
the vagina dialogues. Like it doesn't matter what it is.
I don't care if it's like a repair manual for a 72-inch television. Like, shut the fuck up. Like you have a airplane where people can't leave. That is not your opportunity to preach to them about anything.
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
Yeah, thank you. That's why she should get hauled off the plane.
Yeah,
I would clap for that reason because shut up. Like, you don't like. I don't want to hear you talk to me.
It's a different scenario, right? That's essentially what I'm hearing from you.
I didn't sign up to go to a fucking lecture.
Yeah, it's a public.
I don't care what the lecture's about.
It's a public space. It's a captive audience. Melody just turned captured audience. Absolutely,
captured audience. That's it. Yeah,
that's it.
That's bullshit. You don't do that. You get
different scenario.
You're disturbing the peace in that context, regardless of what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of akin to like a movie theater. Like you have
Yeah.
a movie theater, you get
People
up and
aren't
give
there
like
to
a
hear
speech.
you
Like,
give a speech. Yeah.
Sit
Sounds
down.
like
but I will also counter that argument by saying that isn't that really kind of just a general part of a social construct?
how so?
We all have to deal with people that make us uncomfortable at various points in time,
Right.
whether it's a coworker, whether it's a family member, whether it's a customer. I mean, there's always going to be those situations where you're put in a position where the situation makes you uncomfortable,
Right.
and so you adjust your persona to a certain degree to accommodate it.
That's the
I mean, how many times?
Anyway.
How many? I can think of a million, not a million times because I didn't probably run that many calls, but I can probably easily think of several hundred times out of the thousands of ambulance calls that I responded to, where I had a patient that I was not comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, but my job is to look past that.
Yeah. But it's also a choice you made with that job. You know, that's part of it.
Sure.
Right. I think that's the part that I see as the tension there is there's a lot of people, and it's usually not white men, straight white men like us, that are constantly put in uncomfortable situations. I even heard it today. I was in a room with an elderly gentleman and another woman, and he made 2 different times. The guy made sexual comments, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
dude, like, no,
Like shut the fuck up.
That's not. We're not even talking about that. What
Right.
the fuck? Like, why did you bring that up? And I think what a lot of women have told me is that like that's constant. It's nonstop, and they're constantly put in
Yeah.
uncomfortable situations where they have to deal with that shit and they have to adjust who they are. And I think that's where the line gets is how often does it happen? How much does it impact our lives? How often do we have to change
Yeah, and
our
for us
behavior?
for us it's minimal, right?
It's more minimal than
More minimal than for a
than
woman.
maybe a woman
Yeah.
or maybe a gay person or maybe a
Right.
child or whatever it may be. I think an adult white straight male probably has less instances of discomfort than most other people,
Right.
stereotypically.
But I think what Jacob is saying though is it does happen at some frequency
yeah.
to everybody in society.
100%, yeah.
Right.
And you have to make those. So there's a balance there. I'm hearing.
Well, I mean, I guess to draw it back to a political aspect of it,
Mhm.
for us to walk into any local restaurant or bar and sit down and start talking politics
Right.
is not something that is probably well advised for us.
That's true. That's very true.
But we could drive 45 minutes north
Yeah.
and do it in Iowa City and
Yeah.
be just fine.
Yeah.
And the converse is the opposite.
Oh yeah, you can't wear a MAGA hat into a bar in Iowa City and not expect to get
Yeah.
harassed.
No. So, I mean, it really comes down to, I think, again, that tribalism aspect of it. Like, what is the majority in that area? I mean,
Right.
that's why we have different groups that sort of coalesce with each other where they're comfortable because
Well, even
That's just-
changing it to who's in power in that area, even there's less
Right.
majority, but who's in
Right.
power, and that's where you get into some of the sexist shit and some of the heterosexist shit too. Is
But I think where things have really changed, I think, in the last or I should say where we have taken a step back both as a state and a country over the last decade has been like, it's one thing to be like, I don't, whether it's a religious issue or just a personal issue or whatever your issue is, to say I don't agree with the homosexuality.
right.
That I think it's a choice that people make, that it's some sort of a mental disorder and it's gross and disgusting and it makes me uncomfortable and I don't like talking about it. There is a big difference between that and actually taking that person's civil rights away. And I think that is the important thing that often gets left out of these discussions when you're talking with these people who are not necessarily hateful bigots, but that situation makes them uncomfortable, is bringing that conversation around to this isn't about your comfort. This is about the fact that these people aren't being treated as human beings.
Yeah.
That's a great point. That's a very good point. Yeah. I think that's one of the things that bothers me is the people that do pass those laws are bigots.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those pieces that a lot of voters ignore about those elected officials. They see a handful of political sides they like, and then they ignore the fact that they're bigot.
Yeah, there's a difference between being afraid and uncomfortable and anxious, whatever adjective or whatever we want to use to describe them.
Right.
And then the difference between that and then taking steps to harm another person
Right.
simply because of who they are, what they do or think or believe. Or
Well, it's kind of like the well, they're still doing it. The schools are like, they're making it sound like you can get, like, a boy can go in and get his penis cut off over the lunch hour at
Right.
school,
Paid
the
right?
nurse.
Paid for by the school.
The nurse is gonna do that for you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody who has a school age child knows that's total bullshit.
Right.
They know that, but that's not the target. The target is the older people who think their grandchildren are being subjected to this,
Right.
or the people who have young kids that are not in school yet, or the people who haven't had children yet. That's who it's aimed at.
Right.
I don't know of anybody who has school age children that actually believes that bullshit,
Right.
unless they don't go to a public school. Then they might be apt to believe it.
Yeah.
Well, and there's the consequence, right? Is we know it's not happening. So in the minds of these fuckers that do that say those lies, that spread those rumors, I'm not even talking the people that share it online. I'm talking about the people that start it. So Trump says it. Trump literally has said that numerous occasions.
Yeah.
And says like transgender for everyone, and they're doing surgeries in schools and shit. Like JD Vance said that kind of shit, right? They know it's not true. And
Dude, well, I'm
spread
not
that
so
anyway.
sure about Trump.
He may think it's true.
I mean, that guy has no idea what
That's a good
any
point.
average American deals with.
You remember there's like a week long in the news cycle where everybody thought he misheard somebody who said cisgender,
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
and he started saying 6 genders.
Yep.
You remember that?
Well, do you remember they opened up their asylums and sent their
Oh, they're
asylum
asylum
people-
seekers.
yeah, but they were from asylums.
They're from mental institutions.
That's what he started saying because
Yeah.
he had misunderstood what asylum seeker meant.
This is a strange confession to make. I'm gonna make a confession to you.
What do you got? What do you got?
I often, and by often I mean once, twice, maybe 3 times a week, I ponder.
Hold on. Do we need to pause? I don't know what's coming out of your mouth right now. What do you got?
2, 3 times a week, I think about the comment you made. It's been a couple months maybe now, a past episode of ours where you said something along the lines of, Trump is not stupid. He's a very, very smart person. He knows what he's doing. He's calculating.
Yeah,
I think
I
it's the
think
word
so.
you use.
Maybe a little less so than he used to be because he's aging.
Yeah, he's 80, right? And he's got maybe syphilis and some tent peg issues and other things going on. But I think about that all the time, and I'm like, is he this fucking stupid? Like, does he really believe this? And I don't know. I struggle with that a lot. I don't know. I'm on the fence. You've said before, Trump isn't stupid. You can't become president if you're stupid.
No.
And I think I agree with that.
He
But at the
chooses
same
his words
time,
very, very carefully, and we've seen that.
But
We saw
this-
during January 6th
yeah.
hearings, he chooses his words. He like stops and has them re-record his statements because
Is
every
that-
word matters.
him or a speechwriter?
No, he's stopping it.
No, he's a salesman by trade.
Yeah.
So he understands optics,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes he has a tendency to speak from the cuff on things that he doesn't really fully understand.
I think that's
Yeah.
probably true.
And you combine that with the fact that he's getting briefings via, crayon drawn pictures.
Right.
And again, the fact that the guy did not grow up like 99.9% of us did.
Right.
Evidently misses education along the way too. 'cause-
I mean, you're talking about a guy who's
Move a
probably never
hurricane.
put gas in his own car. He's probably never gone and bought his own groceries,
Oh shit! I didn't even think about
done his own laundry.
right.
right.
Trump has definitely never purchased groceries in a grocery store.
Well, he didn't even know he made up the word in his mind. He's like, we have a new word, groceries.
Yeah.
Grocery. He said that. Like, it's a new word they're using now, groceries. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Like,
He has
seriously.
definitely never purchased groceries for himself. He has definitely never pumped his own gas.
Right. So let's go there for a second then,
Yeah.
because we have a couple other topics we got to hit before we finish up here. 'Cause we're getting
yeah, we're like an hour 20 in.
Yeah, we really got on a
we went
tangent.
deep on the Puritan shit.
It feels like we've been talking for 15 minutes, but it's been an hour and 15
Woo,
minutes.
we're flying. So let's get into real quick because we have to talk about it. This reflecting pool scenario.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Back to the
Again,
algae.
Yeah, and it comes back to Trump thinking what things is one way when they're really not. Does he know they're not this way? We don't know. But what happened that made the entire fucking world laugh at Donald Trump this week?
So you may remember that they arrested a former Olympian.
Yeah, the canoeist, right? Is that what they're called? Canoeists? Is it canoeer?
Canoeer.
Canoeer?
Canoe.
He's an Olympic athlete.
Yeah. Basically, he took a piece of the liner that they're calling it now, even though it's not a liner. I mean, it was paint that was
Yeah.
painted
peeling.
on,
That was peeling, right?
that was floating on the surface of the water. Like he took it,
He just picked it up.
but they decided to scapegoat him and basically claim that he was running the Antifa lab that I was running to
That's right.
grow the
That's
algae.
right. Yeah, you know, because you do. Yeah.
How does one grow algae, Jacob?
By the way, that's
Water, heat, and light.
That's
That's
really
all you
starting
need.
to smell. We need to get rid of that lab. I know it's around the corner here.
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
It's starting to-
But if you remember, Trump said that there was a three. They told him there was a 350. Well, it increased in size
Oh, by the day.
by the day.
Yeah.
There was a gash where they cut it with a knife, even though he said the liner was so thick you couldn't cut it with a knife. But yeah, that's they said it was an act of vandalism. So they decided to scapegoat this guy.
Is there a liner on your truck bed, Jacob?
Yes.
Have you ever tried to cut it with a knife?
I have not tried to cut it with a knife, but I have drugged plenty of things
Yeah.
over the top of it, and you cannot damage it.
No. I mean, I scratched it. I've scratched my liner.
Does it
I have
peel?
never
It's supposed
scratched
to be
it.
scratched. Like, I don't.
I have never scratched it.
No.
No.
I definitely have some like chunks taken out, but I haven't seen the metal on the bottom of it yet,
No.
and it's not peeling off.
So
I mean,
Trend
it could just be the fact that granite's not supposed to be fucking painted.
Right. Maybe, yeah. Good point.
or it was like the dead of summer and like you pumped in all these chemicals and all of the fuck. Well, at first the algae started, right? And then the solution was pump all these chemicals in to deal with the algae.
Yeah, the hydrogen peroxide.
The hydrogen
It was
peroxide.
lasted, what, a day before it turned green again?
Right. And then the paint like, the paint starts chipping and peeling and coming up.
So this guy's arrested.
So he's arrested and he's scapegoated as being the quote unquote vandal. Which from the beginning everybody was saying, like, do you have camera footage of this? Like what?
Oh yeah, we got it all on camera.
And I mean, how do you know that there's a gash in the bottom of the pool while it's still full of water?
Right.
Right. So
Scuba divers in there.
I
to
mean,
be clear, there's cameras on this thing 24/7.
not to mention the fact that, like, what was it, last week or the week before, like they had an FBI investigative team out there, like literally like taking measurements and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at first it was 300 feet, then it was 350 feet, then it was 300 yards.
Is that what he said that time?
Yeah, Trump said
Yeah,
300
he's
yards.
a dumbass.
So anyway, Janine Perot, Fox News host,
And
Miss
and,
Boxwine.
she's an assistant attorney general.
Yep. Yep.
We probably shouldn't
Or
talk shit
U.S.
about.
attorney. Is she assistant attorney general or U.S.? I think
She's the U.S. attorney for that district. We probably shouldn't talk shit about her being a raging alcoholic while we drink beer on the podcast. But just
I'm not gonna alcohol shame people.
But anyway, she announced earlier this week that, or maybe it was late last week, that they were dropping charges against this guy.
Right.
Because, and this was in the court documents, that the damage was not the result of a vandal; it was the result of faulty installation on the part of the contractor.
Mhm.
Court documents.
So I mean, basically, what she did is she did the math, and she said, "Yeah, we have no evidence here, and I'm not going to go to a federal judge and lie and lose my law license for this. So I'm going to kick the Department of the Interior into the bus," which is exactly what she did.
Yeah.
She said, "We were ill-informed by the Department of the Interior
Yeah.
that it was an act of vandalism," and
So
give Trump
that's
the off ramp for that. And then Trump loses his shit because it changes the narrative that he wants to stick to, that It wasn't because he hired some shitty fly-by-night pool contractor. It was it was because of a vandal
who looks
And-
like a Batman villain. So I really wonder, like, if all of the grand jury proceedings are just like Department of Interior pieces of information and evidence, like if this ends up blowing back even bigger on Doug Burgum, Secretary of the Interior, more than it does on anybody else, as this continues to play out.
But at what point does Doug like? I was told to say this by the White House. You fucking morons. Which is clear as day that that's what happened.
At some point, you would think
Right.
that somebody stands up and says, you know what? This is all bullshit. We all know it's bullshit.
Or does he just lose his job and get paid off?
Well, I think this is where the house of cards starts to collapse for Trump. Is there's a long-standing history there of what happens when you don't pledge your undying loyalty to Trump and do exactly what he says.
Right.
And like I said, Jeanine Pirro did the math on that.
Yeah.
And I think she
Right.
tried to navigate that in a way that she could hopefully try to keep him from getting pissed, and it didn't work. And now she's on the outs.
So
And
that's
it's going to
brilliant.
continue to happen.
It's brilliant. Let's follow that line of thinking for a last piece because we're not going to go into Fauci today. There's a whole nother thing, and Todd Blanche is a whole nother thing. You just
We were
brought up-
gonna talk about Todd Blanche and Epstein,
we were,
and that's like a whole.
but that's going to take like 20, 30
So
minutes.
it's
Like, we're
very
there.
obvious there were some backed up liquids and some tubes that needed to be let out here.
What?
Nothing. Continue. Just carry on.
Blanche's reasonable discussion though, because
It is.
it falls in the same line right now. Is our concern has been that Trump has surrounded himself with these loyalists that are going to do what he tells them to do, and they're going to circumvent the laws and the Constitution.
Right.
And fortunately, so far, they're not doing that.
Right.
Like they're reaching that point of saying, "I'm not going to a federal judge and lying to them."
Right. Well, so I want to go there real quick, and we're going to have a chance to talk about Blanche next week because the confirmation hearing is going to come up. and
Yeah,
we're going
it's-
to be in the news more as we go.
Yep.
And that point's going to come up. But you brought up an incredible point about the House of Cards, Jacob, that I think needs to be discussed. Although he did state he's going to run for president again, which he can't do, and states won't put him on the ballot, and it's a whole fuck nut of a thing he's trying to do. He is a lame duck president as of November, and really by now already.
Yeah,
a
he's
lame
already
duck.
a lame
Yeah,
duck
he's
president.
already proven he's not going to keep his majority because he's a shitty ass freaking leader of the party.
He can't even get his Department of Defense new budget through.
Right. So like he's fucked. And in every context, he's never experienced this before. We've never dealt with the second half of a second term with Trump.
The Mad King.
Yeah. And that's what we're about to hit.
Yeah.
And not only that, he's going to be aged another 2 years at that point. Like these next 2 years, I think you're right, Jacob. I think there's no value in sticking with Trump if you're a loyalist in the next, as of like November 3rd. But even then, like now,
Well, his staunchest allies are fucking dying.
they are.
Oh shit, they are.
Well,
I
we don't know
forgot
for
about
sure.
that.
When do we find out he died? McConnell died officially. Is it the 13th?
We'll
I thought-
find out.
I thought
sorry.
it was. Oh, I thought it
I've
was
heard two
yesterday.
different dates. I've heard that, and I've also the 13th.
But Bashir said it doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything.
The governor did.
Yeah, he said it doesn't change any legal recourse for what they can do.
Oh, I thought there was a date where they could no longer hold a
No,
special
it's
election.
after the 14th, next Friday. I think it's the 14th. I'm completely pulling that out of my ass at this point because we're an hour and a half.
Yeah,
in. I
I've
don't
heard
feel like
two
looking
dates.
it up.
Yeah.
But it's sometime between Monday of this week and Friday of next week where the special election occurs if the seat has been vacated prior to that date, right?
That's what I heard.
Right. Otherwise,
not the
or
case, though?
after that date. But prior to that date, the governor has there's dispute over whether or not this is true, based on the state law and whatnot. But if the vacation of the seat occurs prior to that date, the governor has the ability to appoint somebody to fill out the remainder of the term. And if it happens after that date, there has to be a special election, and the governor cannot put somebody in.
That kind of seems backward, doesn't it, though? Because you think the farther away it is from the next election, the more likely there would be a special election. So you think before it had to be a special election, after it would be an appointment.
Right, but the
Doesn't he have
state
to
of
Point a
Kentucky is a Republican-held supermajority in the legislature. So their whole purpose was to limit the power of the governor because he's a Democrat.
Right, but isn't this the state where if he appoints, he has to appoint a person that's been registered with that party?
That's the part that's in contention, is whether A, he can even appoint, and B, if he does appoint, it has to be the party of the person who was
Yeah.
holding the seat.
So my understanding of it was until this date, which is next week sometime, there has to be a special election if he vacates. Which
Mm.
they're worried about having a special election. The Republicans are right now. They don't want a special.
No, I think it's the other way around.
Why
They
would
want to
have a
get to the
election?
special election.
Oh, I thought they wanted the appointment because they have to get a guaranteed Republican.
Oh, yeah. No, I
they
think
changed
you
the
are
law.
right. No,
They
you
changed
are
the
right.
law to
Yeah.
require that
That's
it would
right.
be a Republican who would be appointed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they changed the law, and this is where the contention is whether or not all of this is even
Right,
constitutional and whatnot. But yeah,
Right.
they changed the law to limit the power. It's all very confusing.
Yeah.
They changed the law to limit the power of the Kentucky governor to be able to put a Democrat into that
Yeah.
seat.
He has to be of the party of the person that
Right.
left.
Either way, they're scared shitless because they're worried it's going to be Massey.
That's the thing. It's my understanding is they really don't want the special election because Massey or Bashir,
Right.
who is a prominent statewide Democrat, or Massey, a prominent
Yeah. Well,
Republican,
Massey could be appointed.
right? Right.
So either way, they're fucked.
Well, and he stands a solid chance to win a special election if he runs,
Right.
which he
Well,
will.
I'll tell you this. Either way, Mitch McConnell is not voting on anything. And so as long as that seat is empty, that is one less Republican vote in the Senate. So as far as I'm concerned, let it stay empty.
Well, that's basically what Bashir said in a press conference the other day. He said this doesn't change any legal pathways for us either
Right.
way, and he said, oh, and by the way, like the Republicans aren't getting a vote right now.
But does what's the majority there? Does it matter if he votes or not? I mean, they're not going to break
in the
Not
state
gonna-
legislature, you mean?
no, we're talking federal, like the Senate.
Oh, in the
It's
U.S.
It's not like it's like 50-50. It's not like 49-51.
It's like 52-48.
Is it enough to make a difference?
Well,
Michelle?
it depends on the issue you're talking about.
Yeah,
Okay.
if it's like the SAVE Act,
So
it
it
is
fucks shit
significant.
up.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's fair.
Yeah. It
So-
depends on the issue you're talking about. So
Okay.
some of them really are issues that come down to a wire with one vote where the VP couchfucker could come in and overturn the whole thing.
Right.
Oh,
Oh, did you hear, by the way? Did you hear? This would be a nice thing to end on, I think, about August 2nd, JD Vance's birthday?
Couchfucker Day?
No, National Couch Cleaning Day.
Oh.
Someone literally submitted it to National Calendar Holiday thing and got accepted.
No.
And so, so August 2nd is now officially known as National Couch Cleaning Day. It also happens to be JD Vance's birthday.
Well, good
Just
for
saying.
him.
Just saying.
Cleaning?
Couch clean. Yeah, you got to clean it up
Couch
after the
cleaning.
fact. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You got
If it's his
Mess.
birthday, he's celebrating. It's time to go and clean it up afterward.
okay.
You got to clean your couch because you can't have that shit sitting around. Well, not shit, technically, in that case.
Could be.
But you-
Depends on which way he's going.
I'm not kink shaming on this show. We talked about this. We're not kink shaming. We will couch shame for sure.
Well, we've been talking for a while, fellas.
This has been an episode.
This has certainly been an episode. Yes.
Well, hey, it's good to have you guys back. We will see you guys next week on the 3 Real White Guys podcast. Thank you to Chris Hausman for singing us out.
Give to the rich and take from the poor makes you wonder what we're working